Okay, welcome everybody to Sunday Night Meal Prepping with Shireen and Lauren. Woo! We're making our own video channel.
I love it. I love it. Actually, I got some really good feedback from our last one. I had some people that loved the ideas. So
yeah, I did.
It's awesome.
That was awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
Take it
So
away.
we're going. Okay, I will. So we're going about it a little bit differently. I sent a poll up earlier in the week asking you guys, what are you looking for more ideas with? And the two biggest topics I heard was energy, anything for energy and snacks, and lunches. So I decided I'm going to show you how to make these homemade energy bars, mainly because I wanted to make them and try some of them. And I thought, this might be really good because we're getting ready to go on a road trip. If they're delicious, I can make them and go along, but we are constantly on the go. And so anything that can be a quick on the go snack is a big win in my opinion, especially if it can give you some energy and it's all natural and it's good for your body. So I put the link up in the post, but I can definitely go ahead and show you or send the link again if need be. But okay, so this is super fast to make. So I thought this would be another great one to make. And it's mainly your prep time, or your most time is going to be that it can sit in the fridge to harden up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do medjool dates. I've never used these before, and I've seen a lot of recipes that use dates. And I'm going to be honest, they kind of scare me. I don't know what it is about dates that I'm kind of like, they're kind of weird looking. I don't know how I feel about them.
But they're so delicious, especially if they're really good ones. So
I'm excited. So we're going to try this out. Okay. I thought I saw my thing go out on mute, but I guess we're good. Okay. So I got a cup of medjool dates, and then my groceries are oddly not here yet. And so I have some dried fruit in there. But so I've got like a half a cup of dried cranberries that I'm using. I think I might have raisins in my cupboard, but I'm not a raisin fan, so I'm going to hold off on that. So we're going to do a little bit less of the dried fruit. It says you could use like apricots, prunes, figs, raisins, cranberries, blueberries, or cherries, which I bet cherries would be delicious.
Cherries. And then prunes would probably be really good too. A little extra fiber.
That's probably good. Yeah, for real. And then that's another dried fruit that I'm not a fan of, but does good stuff for your body.
Right. All mixed together with others, you probably wouldn't notice. So
exactly. My grandpa used to eat prunes, and so that's how I always think about prunes. Like,
yeah, I know.
Prunes,
right? Oh yeah, I have an old lady.
Okay, and then it's a cup of chopped nuts. So then what it's saying is that you just want to process this in your food processor a little bit. You can use any kind of nuts. It says almonds, walnuts, cashews, sesame seed, flaxseed, chia seed, or sunflower seeds. So I'm using a combination of walnuts, and I'm going to add a little flaxseed in here. And I might even use a little bit of sunflower seeds. Let me pull some of these walnuts out of here.
Another nut that I've used in things like this too is pistachios, like chopped pistachios. Really yummy. So,
okay, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yep. So it's been a while. I think I made energy bars like this a long time ago. I've definitely used dates to make like protein bites, like the little energy balls, and that's really yummy. So yeah, because I'm traveling, I'm not making this week, but we're going to rely on Lauren to give us feedback on them and how they turn out. So
yeah. So I did have this, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try this. This is a super seed chia, flax, and hemp seed. I can't remember what I got this for, but I'm like, ooh, this would probably be really good. This has 8 grams of fiber and 6 grams of protein. And it also is gluten-free, which is something I'm realizing that I need to
pay more
be a little bit more cognizant of. And then I'm gonna throw a little bit of sunflower seeds in there too. I love sunflower seeds. One of my favorite things to do with sunflower seeds is to roast them in my air fryer.
Oh,
Put a little bit of
what a great
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I spray it with just a little bit of olive oil with some extra virgin olive oil. Throw a little bit of Himalayan salt or kosher salt on the top, and I pop them in my air fryer for like 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how much I have. And I love to add them to my salads. Sometimes I'll eat them by themselves. Sometimes I'll add them in with like my green beans. So that's another thing that I like to do.
I have never thought of using the air fryer for stuff like that, but that is just so awesome. I'm going to do that because I love toasted nuts too. But I hate taking the time to do them in the pan or in the oven or whatever. But
totally, I'm with you. Yeah. Okay, I've got this in my Vitamix, which is pretty much like a food processor too. So I'm gonna chop these up real fast.
okay. So while she's doing that, I am actually making the salad that we made last week because I still have enough stuff for one more. So I loved it so much. It was so delicious that I am making one more for that for this week for lunch for me tomorrow. So I'm just using up all the kind of leftovers that I had from last week to do that. That was fast.
Yeah, that was super fast. I'll be honest, I love our Vitamix. That was something we got a long time ago. And my husband and I, we went back and forth on it, because they're pricey.
Yeah.
Real pricey, and now I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world, but I feel like they've upped the game on blenders in general, like the NutriBullet, and the NutriBullet has a blender that way too. And there's all kinds of them that you can choose from.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what it says is, I'm going to line an 8 by 8 inch pan. So I'm going to grab that really quickly, and you can set it aside, and you can put some plastic wrap in it. It says, and then you're just going to, you can pulse it for 1 to 2 minutes, but mine was pretty quickly. And then now I'm going to add in 2 scoops of Shakeology. And it says you can use any flavor, and then process that for 2 to 3 minutes until it becomes crumbs that can come together to form a loose ball. And then we'll press it into the pan. So
show us the texture of what's in the mix right now.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can see it, it's kind of crumbly right now. Oops.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you look at it, it's already kind of starting to form. It looks like you could form it into balls. So yeah. I would guess that if you decided not to put it in a pan and cut, that I bet you would be able to make and form energy balls with it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. We like to do those a lot when we are on competitions away from home for my daughter. She's a competition dancer. So I love to have those with me in the back by her duffel bag, so that, you know, sometimes she gets real nervous in the morning and won't, like, I'll get her breakfast. Hey, Joel's back there, like, just popping in. She will kind of pick at it a little bit, and then once she gets through like a couple numbers, she feels better, but then she's like, I'm starving. And sometimes it's hard to get her the food she needs to be able to eat it in time in the numbers that she has, because she's racing. So I'll make energy balls, and they're quick because she can pop them in her mouth really quick. She doesn't have to worry about getting anything on her costume, and nor does she have to worry about eating something that's, you know, now cold because it's been sitting there for a while. So there's something that's really easy to make. So
I love those energy balls. They are great for like a pre-run snack for me too. You know, I don't know, they just sit really well in my stomach. So it's easy to eat one and then go for a run. So what flavor are you adding to it?
I added, I had some cookies and creamy that I thought I would add to it. Yeah. However, I'm noticing in the blender, it's having a hard time getting in. It's almost like too dry. You know what I mean?
I wondered if it was gonna be too dry.
So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it out and put it in a bowl and kind of mix it together with a fork. I'll be back.
And I am so far, so I have my beans and my peppers and my onions. And add a little bit of this coleslaw mix to my salad jar. When I ate it last week, I added some lettuce to it, and that was super yummy. But I just want a little bit more. I don't know, visually it looks pretty, don't you think? So
I think that lettuce is a great idea.
yeah, I actually put lettuce in a bowl and then dumped the salad, the jar on top of it. And it was really, really yummy.
I like that idea. Yeah, I'm curious now. My food processor is like, it says to mix it in a food processor. Mine's like on the brink.
I mean, like a real food processor, like a Cuisinart food processor or something.
Yeah, it probably, mine is not like that. It's like the small little one that you chop up onions in or something like that, which is why I thought the Vitamix would work better, but the
Yeah.
good stuff's at the bottom.
To know if you're gonna try this. It might work better if you have like a heavy duty food processor for it. So.
Yeah, for sure.
The other snack-like thing that I recently discovered, thanks to one of the women in my ongoing fitness group, is it's called a Trail Mix Energy Cookie. I have used this. I've used this recipe once a week, probably for the last month since she told me about it, and it is so good. It is a cup of peanut butter, 2 eggs. It calls for light brown sugar. I've used coconut sugar in it instead, because that's a slightly better form of sugar, but it's just a half a cup, which I don't think I quite even use that much. Coconut oil, vanilla, old-fashioned oats, baking soda, salt, mini chocolate chips, and chopped pistachios. And so there's no flour in it, it's gluten-free. You can add dried fruit too if you want, like cherries or cranberries or something. I've just used the dark chocolate chips. It's been so delicious. And this is actually what I've been using on my training runs as to like fuel my run. And it's just been so good. So I love them, love them, love them.
That's awesome. Those sound really good.
Share that recipe too. It's not a Beachbody recipe, so I'm not exactly sure how to count it container wise, but I've kind of been doing it as like a couple of teaspoons and a yellow.
Yeah, it's
got a lot of peanut butter in it, and it is, but it's got carbs, and so.
Yeah, I definitely think most of the time, that kind of stuff is good to just kind of count as your carb, when you're not sure how to go about it.
But just because there's so much peanut butter in it, I'm like, well, I should probably count it as a couple of teaspoons too. So.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay. Now, I've never made these before, like I said, so I'm a little curious because I feel like without it working well in that food processor, I think I might try to pull my other one back out. It's kind of like not very crumbly like I expect it to be. So I think as we talk about the bento boxes, I'm going to pull that back out.
Okay.
kind of play with it a little bit more. Because it's, that Shakeology is not really mixing into it very good. So this is all good for us to know.
Right.
But the potential is there. So let me play around with this a little bit.
Okay, yep. So I'll start by sharing just something, and I've actually never thought about doing this as a bento box before. It's one of my go-to easy meal, easy lunches. And it's super delicious, but it's egg roll in a bowl. But I thought, you know what, this would be really easy to do, to prep and put in a bento box, so that all I need to do then is dump it in a pan and cook it. So it only has 3 ingredients. And what I'm using, because normally I buy the turkey sausage crumbles. They come in a little bag, and it's already, these are all already cooked, of course, but it's just like crumbles. So you can measure out something, but they only had sausage links at the store, because here we are in post-COVID times and nothing is stocked in the stores anymore. So I'm just gonna slice up 3 of these links, because that's what a serving is. And just cut them up into little pieces here, and I will put that in part of my bento box. This is my bento box, by the way. I got these off of Amazon. I'm sure they have a variety of formations, and I mean, I've seen all kinds of things. Having 3 sections works well for me. So that's what I use here. So, okay, I've sliced those up. And so I'm gonna put sausages in one. Then I've got my coleslaw mix, which I need a container. So sorry. it's not a purple, but it's the same size, right? So I'm just gonna fill that with coleslaw, and I'm really gonna pack it in, because it's coleslaw. There aren't that many calories. And the more you can pack in, the more fiber. So I may even throw in a little extra. I put that, basically a cup of that into this other section. So there is that. And then the other option for another ingredient in this is
My daughter's home.
Oh, hi. It's brown rice. I either use brown rice or that seeds of change quinoa mix with rice, which is super delicious. So I have a little bit of leftover of that. So I have a yellow container of that from a meal I made yesterday. So I'm going to grab that out of the fridge, throw it in here, and then this lunch is ready to go. This could also be breakfast. This would be really easy. And then all you need to do to cook it, I cook it in like a teaspoon of sesame oil, because that gives it sort of the oriental flavor, and it's so good. So I just cook it in that until everything gets soft and heated through, and I'll sprinkle it with some liquid aminos and some sriracha. So
that's, oh my gosh, my daughter's literally picking up the dogs. They've been gone and she's loving on them. Oh my gosh, one of them's I gotta take a picture. They're gonna like fall over here. Oh my gosh, they're like literally attacking her. I love liquid aminos. I'm gonna show you guys. Liquid aminos are great alternative to soy sauce, and it's just a Bragg's liquid aminos like this. It still has sodium in it, but it's a soy protein seasoning, and it's a soy sauce alternative. So that's such a great one. And you said you use sesame seed oil,
right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another great thing to have, because that can really help change the flavoring of some foods that you have.
Yeah, it's just, it's strong flavored oil, so you really don't need that much. So just to give a little bit of flavor.
And it's also a high smoke oil, just so that you know. If you don't know what that means, that if you cook it on like super high heat longer than maybe what you would maybe do for like extra virgin olive oil, yeah, it can create a high level smoke like real quickly. So just keep that in mind. That and avocado oil.
My box ready to go.
I love it. So this is what the bars look like. I'm not sure. I feel like they're supposed to be a little bit more moist. So I'm going to play around with it and I'll let you guys know what these are like after they've been in for an hour. I feel like there's just not enough something in there. And I'm wondering if it could be the fact that I didn't have enough dried fruit.
It might be, or it also might depend on how fresh your dates are, if they've been opened at all. Because when you first open a package of dates, they're usually pretty moist. But if you don't use them that often, and they truly become very dry. So
They're not, they were just bought this week.
And you haven't opened them.
I have not opened them, but I will say they're not super moist, but they're decent. They're
good. Yeah.
I don't really know what they're supposed to look like.
I don't know, maybe adding some water to it would help.
That's actually not a bad idea. Because it's just not very, when I make them in with the energy balls, like it's a consistency that you can see that it's going to form a ball.
Right. Yeah, that'll hold together, right?
Yeah, this does not seem to me like this is going to hold together.
Yeah, because if it's not going to hold together, then it's not going to stay in a bar.
Right. All right, let's try this.
So the other thing that I am doing now, like I said, I'm only here for part of the week, but this is something I like to do just to have in the fridge in case I'm like, it's snack time. Instead of trying to think what's in my fridge that I should snack on, then I take one of these boxes and fill it with vegetables and a little bit of ranch or hummus or something. So I found these things. I mean, this is good from Target. It's a Good and Gather brand. It's a yogurt dressing and dip. So that's ranch. This is super yummy. It's a buffalo ranch. So that's delicious. Or any of the Bolt House dressings. We use this on tacos a lot, this cilantro avocado one, but they also have a creamy ranch and a Caesar that's really good, and they are low calorie and healthy because they're all made with yogurt.
I like those Target ones. I have to run out there. Because I've been trying to think of like what things I can carry in the car. So I'd like to have something like that because I can easily dip stuff in. While, yeah, I'm traveling. Okay, the water helped a lot, and I didn't add a ton. You can see the consistency is much different.
Much better.
Much better. So we're going to use that. Okay. All right, so let me finish that up, and then, like I said, my groceries never came, so but I'm going to share with you. We do bento boxes a lot in this house, so I want to kind of share with you some of the things we do. One second.
Okay, there's my snack box ready to go. I use the buffalo ranch for this because I really love it. So that one's all set. And bam, that only took me half an hour, and I have a lunch, 2 lunches, and a snack. So
okay. All right, so while I get this in, I'm going to talk a little bit about the things I do. I have the exact same containers as Shireen does, and I also bought back in the day, let me show you, so right down here. Even like these little plastic containers, I do this a lot with like veggies and dressing on the side, or I'll do like some sort of fruit dip. There's one on the blog that I use at times, and then I'll put fruit on the side, and I'll send that to for my kids. They enjoy that for their lunches. Even like the bigger ones, like I sent my daughter with this to dance today. and I filled it up with veggies. And then on the side, I put cheese and turkey meat. So that's basically what I do. I just find lots of different things, and I had all kinds of stuff ready to show you that's coming in my grocery order, but it's just not here yet. And actually it was already supposed to be here and it's still not here. Were you showing us?
Yeah, I was just saying, this is the kind of, I always look for the turkey and stuff that says no nitrates or nitrites added, and make sure it's natural turkey or chicken, or even roast beef sometimes, just to change things up. But there's so many different kinds of, they oven roasted, smoked, rotisserie style, all those things. So taking, some slices of that, wrapping it in a slice of cheese, or wrapping it around a cheese stick, super quick and easy. It's like a breadless sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, my fingers are all, that water helps a lot.
If you need a carb with it, you can use a tortilla, or you can use bread. You can make a sandwich and stick it in a bento box, just maybe not slather it with, mayonnaise or mustard or anything, and put any of that stuff on it that might make it soggy until right before. So
right, exactly. Great. Those are really good.
Or save
the meat
packets that you get, like mustard packets from restaurants, and put them in the bento box. So.
Yeah, those are great ideas. Those are great. I think the deli meat is a question I get a lot. So knowing that you're looking for the nitrate free, we do a lot of just fresh deli meat. So you feel a little bit more confident, but you just have to be cautious to get the higher quality, I think makes a difference. We also at times will do, Jeff will grill chicken on Sundays, and then we'll just cut that up like we did last week. He'll grill it up and he'll cut it up and cube it, and we put it in a container, and I'll make them that way because that's super easy.
Yeah.
Another bento box idea that I do is I'll put lettuce and tomato and red pepper on the big portion of my bento box. I'll put a container of cheese on the shredded cheese, and then I'll put taco meat or chicken on the one side. And then Jeff found through Fixate online a French dressing that is so good, and it is all portion fixed, but you do use some mayo, a little bit of ketchup, so a couple of things, but it's so good. And I just put it in my container, and I'll pop that in, and I use that with my taco salads a lot because it's really, really good. Yeah, it's really good. Another thing I send with my kids a lot are pita chips. So I look for the better pita chips, whole grain pita chips. Our Walmart has a gluten-free pita chip that I use a lot, and so I'll take that with me. So that's always a nice little add-in, or like a gluten-free cracker, like a nut thin, like the almond thins are another great one. And then Aldi, we have Aldi by us, so we do Aldi a lot. They have a gluten-free sesame seed, black sesame seed cracker that I love. That's a great one to add in too. Okay. And then I was going to share, I found this, and I'll add this into after we get the posting up. There's a woman that I found on Instagram, and it's called bento_box_lunches. She has a ton of ideas in there, even just simple things that you don't even think about, such as just some carrots and celery and some almonds. And then she takes whole grain pitas, actual pitas, and she air fries them and toasts them up that way, and then puts homemade hummus in. So we buy hummus a lot, but Jeff actually just said the other day, he's like, it is way easy to make hummus. Why are we spending so much money on hummus when we can make it ourselves? True. So he made some last week, and it was delicious. So, and she had some other really great ideas in here. Like she had this shaved Brussels sprout Caesar salad with some fruit and some whole grain crackers. So I'll throw that up there because there was a ton of ideas in there too. So I think one of the things that for me, bento boxes work so well because you could do a number of different things with them. and still be able to take lunch on the go very quickly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think I mean, and that's the key, it's always seemed like lunches is where you've been going all morning doing stuff. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm starving, I'm just going to stop and get a burger and fries,
Yeah,
If you have something with you in the car, then it's so much easier. So,
super easy. And then one thing I was going to share too is that there's tons of different recipes for salads, and we can even find some that could help, but there's ones that you can make and chop up without adding lettuce, like cucumbers and red peppers and tomatoes and like olives, that you can make and pre-make that actually, like, with the dressing in it. And then that's the only hard part, is because you kind of have to have an idea. It's got to be something either a fixate approved where it's a low sugar type thing, or have something like Shireen shared that you can just add in.
yeah,
Something like that.
the beans on the bottom, which is where the dressing is, they were the best part of the salad.
Yeah, they were. They really were. You can, it almost like marinates your veggies
Right.
over the course of the week. So you could add that into your bento box for a couple of days. And that is like a super easy make, can eat in car line or at lunch or even at home for a super quick meal,
Right.
as needed.
Yeah, because even though, like I said last week, I work from home and, I have everything right here. It's super convenient, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, I don't want to make that or whatever. But if it's already prepped and ready to go, even though it's only 2 extra minutes to prep it, it's like, well,
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, I have that thing. I have to use it up,
Right. Absolutely. Because I think like where you're coming from, and that's how I was at breakfast today. It took me a while to get to breakfast, but by the time I got there, I was starving.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's only going to take me a couple minutes to get something started and made. But like in the meantime, I could totally dig into this banana and peanut butter, and that kind of stuff adds up. Like I could eat it for sure. But am I tracking that? And then am I adjusting my breakfast that I was going to eat according to that banana and peanut butter? So,
Right.
just having the thought process. So what I always try to do too is just another idea is get your water and be like, okay, I'm going to keep making my stuff, but before I put one piece of food in my mouth, I'm going to drink 8 ounces of water. And that will typically, push you over that little edge of I'm going to eat all the things, which is another something that I tell a lot of my clients when they come home, because like teachers and stuff, I have a lot of teachers in my group and I didn't understand it until I was a kindergarten aide, but I literally come home and I'm like, all of a sudden I'm like, I'm starving. I didn't realize how hungry I was.
Right.
So I've learned to like drink my water on the way home. So the first thing I have to do is come home is go to the bathroom, but I'm full, so that then I know what my snack is going to be, and I can go ahead and just, grab that really fast without grabbing the first thing I see when I enter the pantry.
Right. Which is so smart. So, all right. If you have questions when I post the recording in the group, we will post all the links with it too. That were, for the recipes that we were talking about today. So, just if you have questions, let us know. And next week, Julie and Susan are going to take over and do meal prepping for you. So, because Lauren and I are both going to be out of town. So can't wait to see what, how that goes and what they come up with. So
I'm excited. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys got some good ideas.
hey, where do I stop it? Oh yeah.